Elon Musk had faced countless challenges in his life, from pushing the limits of technology to navigating the complex world of business. Yet none had prepared him for the moment ahead. Today, he was about to meet someone whose influence spanned far beyond the realm of science and technology. The man before him was Pope Francis, a figure revered by millions as the spiritual leader of the Catholic Church. Elon had always been a man of reason, driven by the tangible, the measurable, and the achievable. Faith had never been something he gave much thought to. His life had been centered around progress, whether it was sending rockets to space, revolutionizing electric vehicles, or solving complex energy problems. But now, here he was, seated across from Pope Francis, whose unwavering belief in the divine had shaped the lives of millions. "Thank you for meeting me today," Pope Francis said with warmth, extending a hand toward Elon. "There are many things I would like to discuss with you. But first, tell me, do you believe in God?" Elon paused, taken aback by the directness of the question. He was used to discussing technology, business strategies, and the future of humanity, but this was different. The Pope's gentle demeanor made the question feel profound, and for a moment, Elon struggled with how to respond. His mind raced. Was this a conversation he was ready for? Could he be honest about his beliefs? "I do," Elon said after a brief silence. "I believe in God, but my view of God is different from what many people might think." He shifted in his seat, trying to find the right words. "I see the world in all its complexity, nature, life, the universe, and I think there must be some force behind it all. But I don't see God as a personal entity, like how some people imagine him. I see a higher power, something that guides everything, but not in the way that people think of a person." Pope Francis listened attentively, nodding thoughtfully. "So you believe in God, but not in a personal God who is involved in our lives every day?" Elon nodded in response, feeling a sense of clarity in his own words. His thoughts were beginning to form more coherently, but he wasn't sure where this conversation would lead. It was uncharted territory for him. Still, there was something in the Pope's presence, a calmness and understanding, that made him feel comfortable continuing. "I think that there's a force in the universe that shapes everything we see. It's beyond us, something greater, and it gives life meaning. It's not about control, but more about direction," Elon explained. Pope Francis smiled softly, his gaze kind but piercing. "I understand," he said. "But if God is beyond us, why is he important to you? Why believe in him at all?" Elon took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the question. It was the one question that had always troubled him. Why believe in something beyond reason? Why have faith when progress could seemingly explain everything? "I believe in God because I think the universe is too beautiful and complex to be random," Elon said slowly. "I don't think it's about God controlling everything, but about him giving us purpose. Without that, I don't see how the world could be so intricately designed." The Pope nodded again, his expression thoughtful. "You are a man of great intellect, Elon. But sometimes intellect alone cannot provide the answers we seek. Faith gives us hope. It gives us courage to face the unknown. You may have found answers in science, but perhaps there is something beyond the realm of reason that can offer peace. Do you ever wonder if faith could provide what reason alone cannot?" Elon sat back, his mind racing. Could faith really provide the answers that logic could not? He had always believed in the power of science and reason, but now, in the presence of the Pope, he found himself questioning if there was more to life than what could be quantified and understood through technological advancement. A flicker of doubt crossed his mind, but he quickly dismissed it, unsure of how to process the Pope's words. As they continued their conversation, the discussion shifted. Now, Elon and Pope Francis were delving into the future of humanity and the role that faith might play in guiding society through the challenges ahead. Elon's thoughts raced with ideas of space exploration, technology, and his vision for human progress, but Pope Francis's words kept drawing him back to a deeper, more human question. The Pope's voice broke the silence, his words gentle but filled with purpose. "Do you believe that faith has a role in shaping the future?" he asked, his eyes seeking Elon's. Elon hesitated. He wasn't sure how to answer. Faith had never played a central role in his work, and he wasn't sure if it should. But the Pope's question resonated with him on some level. "I think faith can help people find meaning," he said slowly. But I also believe that technology and science will shape the future. We have the power to change our destiny, to create a better world through innovation. Pope Francis smiled, his eyes soft with compassion. Innovation is important, but it cannot replace faith. Without faith, without a guiding force, humanity risks losing sight of what truly matters. Faith is not just about believing in something. It's about finding our place in the world and understanding our true purpose. Elon felt a stir of confusion. Could faith really guide humanity? Could it help solve the world's most pressing problems, just as technology promised to do? The conversation between them continued, exploring the intersection of faith, technology, and progress. The tension between Elon's belief in logic and the Pope's belief in divine guidance became more apparent as the discussion unfolded. Elon felt as if he were walking a fine line between his own convictions and the deeper truths that Pope Francis was trying to convey. The conversation between Elon Musk and Pope Francis continued, the weight of their differing views growing ever more apparent. Elon had always believed in the power of science, technology, and reason. These were the tools that had driven his success and shaped his vision for the future. He saw a world that could be transformed by innovation, where human progress would solve the most pressing problems of society. But now, sitting across from the Pope, he was forced to confront an uncomfortable thought. Could there be something more to life than just progress? Faith, Pope Francis said softly, is not something that can be measured or quantified like technology. It's something deeper, something that connects us to each other and to the world around us. You speak of progress, Elon, but what if true progress is not just about what we can build or invent? What if it's about our ability to connect, to love, and to understand our place in the grand design of the universe? Elon listened intently, his mind racing. He had always thought of progress as a force that could solve the world's problems. Technology was the answer, the tool that could push humanity to new heights, to new frontiers. It was what drove him every day. But the Pope's words challenged this narrow view of progress. Was there really more to life than building machines and exploring space? Could faith play a role in shaping the future? I understand what you're saying, Elon replied slowly, but I think progress is about more than just connection or understanding. It's about changing the world, making it better, through the power of human ingenuity. We have the power to build a new future, one that is better than the one we have now. Pope Francis nodded, but looked at him with a gentle but serious gaze. I agree, progress is important. But without faith, that progress can become hollow. Without a guiding force, we risk losing sight of what truly matters. Technology can solve many problems, yes, but it cannot fill the emptiness of the human soul. It cannot teach us how to love, how to care for each other, how to find meaning in the suffering of the world. Faith does this. Elon shifted in his seat, trying to grasp the depth of what the Pope was saying. He had always focused on the tangible, on engineering, on building the next great innovation. He had always believed that humanity's future was in its ability to harness technology and create a better world. But now, as he listened to Pope Francis, he began to wonder. Was technology alone enough to guide humanity? Was there something missing from his worldview? There are so many challenges we face, Elon said, his voice thoughtful. Climate change, resource depletion, inequality. These are problems that require practical solutions, and technology provides those solutions. Faith doesn't offer a clear path forward in solving these issues. The Pope's expression softened. Faith is not about offering practical solutions in the way that technology does. Faith is about providing a sense of purpose, a moral framework that guides us through the challenges of life. It teaches us how to treat each other, how to show compassion, how to navigate the suffering and the unknown. Without it, even our best innovations can lead us astray. Elon's mind was a whirlwind. He had always thought of faith as something abstract, something disconnected from the real world. To him, it was a personal belief, something that didn't belong in the realm of science and technology. But now, sitting in front of Pope Francis, he couldn't help but feel that he might be missing something. Was it possible that faith could offer something that science could not? I don't disagree with you, Elon said after a long pause. But I think faith needs to evolve, to adapt to the changing world we live in. We can't rely solely on old beliefs to guide us through the challenges we face today. The world is different now. Technology is reshaping everything. Pope Francis nodded slowly, acknowledging the point. Yes, faith evolves, but its core remains the same. It's about love, compassion, and a connection to something greater than ourselves. These are the things that will guide humanity, not just technology. You speak of progress, Elon, but without faith, even the greatest advancements can become meaningless. Elon paused, the weight of the Pope's words sinking in. He had always believed that progress was the key to a better future, but now, the idea that faith could be just as important, if not more, was beginning to take root in his mind. Could it be that faith had a role to play in shaping the future? Could it help guide humanity through the uncertainties that technology alone could not navigate? There's a conflict, though, Elon said, his voice quieter now. Technology has the power to change the world. It's tangible, measurable. Faith feels intangible. It's not something you can hold in your hands or see with your eyes. How can we rely on something like faith when we have the power of science at our fingertips? Pope Francis smiled gently, his voice filled with warmth. Faith is not about holding something in your hands. It's about recognizing that there is something beyond what we can see. It's about trust, about believing that there is a purpose to life, a reason for everything that happens. Faith allows us to move forward with hope, with love, and with a sense of peace. Without it, we risk losing sight of the bigger picture. Elon sat in silence for a moment, trying to absorb the gravity of the conversation. He had never thought about faith in this way before. It wasn't about rejecting science or progress. It was about finding a balance, a way to integrate faith into the pursuit of a better world. Could this be the missing piece? Could faith offer a new direction, one that went beyond the boundaries of technology? As the conversation continued, the tension between Elon and Pope Francis remained palpable, but something in Elon began to shift. He still believed in the power of science and technology, but now, for the first time, he was starting to wonder if there was more to life than what could be measured, than what could be built. Perhaps there was something deeper, something beyond the physical world, that could guide humanity. Pope Francis's voice cut through the silence again, gentle but firm. Elon, you've done incredible things with your work. But what if the future isn't just about progress? What if it's about understanding our place in God's plan? What if true progress is about more than what we build? It's about how we live, how we treat each other, and how we find meaning in our existence. Elon looked at the Pope, his mind still wrestling with the enormity of the question. He had spent his life focused on building, on creating a better future through technology. But was that enough? Could there be something more that he was overlooking? I don't think I understand what you mean, Elon replied slowly. I believe in progress. I believe in pushing humanity forward, but I don't see why that has to conflict with reason and logic. Faith is important, I'm sure, but I don't see it as something that can shape the future the way science and technology can. Pope Francis's eyes were kind, yet firm. Faith is not about abandoning reason, Elon. It's about recognizing that there is something beyond what we can see and understand. It's about trusting that there is a purpose to all of this, that there is a greater meaning to our lives. Without that, we risk losing our way. Elon's mind raced. The clash of their visions felt almost impossible to resolve. He couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. Could faith really offer something that technology could not? Could it provide the guidance that he had always sought in the world of progress and innovation? The tension between the two of them remained, but with each passing moment, Elon felt a shift inside him, a growing sense that perhaps the answers he was seeking were not entirely rooted in the world of technology. The conversation between Elon Musk and Pope Francis had shifted direction, but the underlying tension was still palpable. Elon, ever the advocate for progress through technology, felt a growing unease at the Pope's perspective. Technology, in his eyes, was not just a tool, it was the answer. It was the solution to humanity's most pressing problems, the key to solving issues like climate change, poverty, and even space exploration. Yet, as he listened to Pope Francis speak about the importance of faith, he began to question whether technology alone could truly offer the answers to these existential challenges. You speak of progress in technology, Pope Francis said, his voice calm but purposeful. And yes, there is no doubt that technological advancements have made life easier in many ways. They have brought comfort, efficiency, and even the possibility of space exploration. But we must not forget that technology can also bring unintended consequences. It can lead us down paths of exploitation, division, and destruction. Without a moral compass, technology can become a force for harm rather than good. Elon's eyebrows furrowed. I don't agree with that, he replied. Technology is neutral. It's how we use it that matters. If we can develop clean energy, advanced AI, and sustainable technologies, we can solve the world's biggest problems. Faith might offer comfort, but it doesn't provide us with the tools to tackle these issues head-on. The Pope smiled gently, but there was a seriousness in his expression. You are right that technology is neutral, Elon. But without guidance, without a moral framework, it can easily be misused. Consider the power of artificial intelligence. In the right hands, it can revolutionize medicine, improve our understanding of the universe, and create a more equitable society. But in the wrong hands, it can be weaponized, used to control people, or deepen social inequalities. Technology has the power to amplify both the good and the bad in human nature. Elon's gaze dropped for a moment as he processed the Pope's words. He had always seen technology as a force for good, a way to propel humanity into a new era of progress. But there was a subtle truth in the Pope's argument. The more advanced technology became, the more potential it had for misuse. The consequences of this misuse, he realized, could be disastrous. I see your point, Elon said slowly, but I still believe that technological progress is the way forward. We're already seeing the incredible benefits of advancements like electric vehicles, renewable energy, and space exploration. These technologies have the potential to reshape the world for the better. Faith, in my view, doesn't provide the same tangible solutions. It doesn't give us the tools to solve the problems of the modern world. Pope Francis looked at him with understanding but unwavering conviction. Technology is important, Elon, and I admire your vision. But faith, and the values it instills in us, provide a foundation for the ethical use of technology. Without this foundation, we risk losing sight of the greater good. Faith teaches us to consider the common good, to protect the vulnerable, and to act with compassion and justice. These are the principles that should guide technological development. If we allow technology to progress without these values, we may end up creating a world where the powerful become more powerful and the weak are left behind. Elon was quiet for a long moment, his mind wrestling with the implications of the Pope's words. He had always believed that technology was the ultimate solution, the path to human salvation. Yet, as he listened to the Pope, he began to realize that the unchecked growth of technology could indeed lead to unforeseen consequences. Could it be that there was more to progress than just innovation? I've always thought that humanity's future lies in our ability to innovate, Elon said finally. We're building electric cars, we're sending humans to Mars, we're making renewable energy mainstream. These are tangible solutions to real-world problems. I'm not sure how faith fits into all of this. Pope Francis leaned forward slightly, his eyes kind yet firm. Innovation is essential, Elon. It is the very essence of human creativity and ingenuity, but it is not enough on its own. Without faith, innovation can become self-serving, disconnected from the needs of the greater world. Technology can lead to great achievements, but it can also create new divides between rich and poor, between those who have access and those who do not. Faith calls us to ask, what is the purpose of this progress? Who will benefit from it, and who will be left behind? Elon's face softened as he considered the Pope's words. For the first time, he felt the weight of his responsibility, not just as an innovator, but as a human being. His work had always been driven by the desire to create a better future, but he had never fully considered the ethical implications of his actions. Could it be that his focus on technology had blinded him to the broader impact of his work? I never thought about it that way, Elon admitted. I've always believed that the benefits of technology would eventually reach everyone, but I see now that this isn't guaranteed. We have to be mindful of who is left out, who is harmed by our progress. But I still think that technology is the key to solving the world's problems. Pope Francis nodded, his voice filled with wisdom. Technology can be a great force for good, Elon, but it is a tool, not an end in itself. It is faith in the values that guide us: compassion, justice, love, That should be the true compass of progress. Without these values, technology risks becoming a tool for domination rather than liberation. As we build the future, we must ask ourselves, are we building a world that serves all of humanity, or are we creating a world that benefits only a few? Elon sat back in his chair, deep in thought. He had spent his career focused on the tangible, the measurable. He had always believed that the future of humanity depended on technology. But now, sitting across from Pope Francis, he realized that technology was not enough on its own. It needed to be grounded in values, guided by a moral compass, in order to truly benefit humanity. I've always thought of progress as something driven by technology, Elon said, his voice thoughtful. But I'm beginning to see that it's about more than just what we build. It's about how we use what we build. And for that, faith in something greater than ourselves, may be just as important as technology itself. Pope Francis smiled warmly. I believe you're beginning to see the bigger picture, Elon. Technology can take us far, but without love, compassion, and a sense of purpose, we risk losing sight of what truly matters. Together, faith and technology can guide us toward a future that serves all of humanity, not just a select few. Elon nodded slowly, a sense of clarity beginning to form in his mind. He still believed in the power of technology, but now he understood that it needed to be tempered with values that transcended mere innovation. The future of humanity, he realized, could not rest solely on the shoulders of machines. It needed to be guided by something deeper, something rooted in faith, compassion, and a sense of shared responsibility. As the conversation drew to a close, Elon felt a newfound respect for Pope Francis's perspective. He had entered the room with a clear vision of the future, one defined by technology and progress. But now, as he left, he understood that the future needed more than just innovation. It needed a moral compass, one that would guide humanity through the complexities of the modern world and ensure that progress served the common good. As Elon Musk and Pope Francis continued their conversation, a sense of mutual understanding began to emerge. While their worldviews were still different, there was an undeniable recognition of the need for a shared vision. It was clear that both men, despite their contrasting backgrounds, had a deep commitment to the well-being of humanity. Elon was driven by the potential of technology to create a better world, and Pope Francis was steadfast in his belief that faith and compassion should be the guiding principles of progress. Yet, both understood that the future of humanity could not be shaped by one without the other. Pope Francis broke the silence. Elon, I see that you have great passion for the future. Your work is remarkable. But as we look forward, we must ask ourselves, what kind of world are we building? Is it a world where technology serves the common good, or a world where only the privileged benefit from progress? Will it be a world where we are united in our humanity, or a world divided by the powerful and the powerless? Elon leaned forward, considering the Pope's words carefully. He had always been an advocate for technological advancement, believing that innovation could be the key to solving many of the world's problems. But Pope Francis's point struck a chord. There were unintended consequences to technological progress, inequalities, environmental destruction, and the potential for technology to be used in harmful ways. Elon began to see that technology, while powerful, could not be relied upon to fix everything. It needed to be framed within a broader moral context, one that prioritized people over profits, compassion over control. You're right, Elon said, his voice thoughtful. Sometimes we get so caught up in the possibilities of what technology can do that we forget to consider the broader impact. It's easy to get lost in the excitement of innovation, but we must be vigilant about its consequences. It's not just about building the future, it's about building the right future. Pope Francis nodded, his expression softening. Exactly. Progress must be inclusive. It must serve everyone, not just the wealthy or powerful. Technology can bring great benefits, but it must be accompanied by the values of justice, solidarity, and love. These are the values that should guide the use of technology. Without them, technology can create more harm than good. Elon thought about the many projects he had been involved with, the electric cars, the space missions, the sustainable energy solutions. He had always believed that these advancements were pushing humanity toward a brighter future. Yet, Pope Francis's words made him realize that these efforts, while commendable, needed to be viewed through a lens that considered not just technological progress, but its social, ethical, and environmental impact. Technology was not an end in itself. It was a means to an end, a tool to serve humanity's greater good. I agree, Elon said. I've always believed that technology should be a force for good, but I can see now that it needs to be guided by a set of ethical principles. We can't just rely on the promise of progress. We have to ensure that everyone benefits from it. We need to be more mindful of the impact our innovations have on the environment and on society as a whole. Pope Francis smiled gently. That is the essence of true progress. It is not about how much we can achieve, but about how we achieve it. If we create technologies that harm the environment or exacerbate inequality, then we are not truly progressing. True progress is about creating a world that reflects our highest values. One where all people have the opportunity to thrive, where the planet is protected, and where the common good is at the heart of everything we do. Elon reflected on this. He had always been driven by the belief that the future of humanity lay in technology and innovation, but he now saw that the true challenge was ensuring that this progress was grounded in ethical principles. It was not enough to build technologies that could change the world. Those technologies had to be used in ways that were just, compassionate, and sustainable. Without that, humanity risked advancing only in certain areas, leaving behind the most vulnerable and exacerbating the divide between the powerful and the powerless. Pope Francis leaned back in his chair, his eyes looking thoughtful. It's important to remember that technology, while powerful, is not the only way to create change. Faith, too, has the potential to inspire action. The values we hold dear, compassion, justice, care for the poor and vulnerable, can motivate us to use technology for the common good. These values can push us to innovate in ways that respect human dignity and protect the planet. Elon nodded slowly. I see now that technology is not just about creating new inventions. It's about creating solutions that make the world a better place for everyone. And that means we need to think beyond just profit and efficiency. We need to think about how our innovations affect people, communities, and the environment. We need to build a future where progress benefits all of humanity. The Pope smiled, his eyes filled with a quiet hope. Exactly, Elon. A future where technology and faith work together, where progress is measured not by how much we can accumulate, but by how much we can give. A future where we are united in our shared responsibility to care for one another and for the earth. As the conversation came to an end, both men stood and exchanged a firm handshake. They had started with very different views, but through their dialogue, they had arrived at a shared understanding of what the future should look like. A future where technology and faith worked hand in hand to create a better world for all. Elon left the meeting with a renewed sense of purpose. He had always believed in the power of technology to shape the future, but now he understood that true progress could not be achieved without considering its broader impact. Technology, in all its power, must be guided by values. Values that prioritized humanity, compassion, and the common good. As he walked out of the room, Elon felt a sense of clarity, knowing that the path forward would require both innovation and wisdom, technology and faith, progress and compassion. In the end, the future of humanity would not be defined by machines or by faith alone. It would be shaped by the delicate balance between the two, where the power of technology was tempered by the guiding light of values that put people and the planet first. The conversation with Pope Francis had not only opened his eyes to the importance of this balance, it had given him the vision to build a future where both technology and faith could thrive together, for the benefit of all. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of discovery and growth. The question now is, what will you do with the answers you've found along the way?